There it is. This move. I just want to start this video by saying something. When we go through these 4-year cycles with crypto, as a content creator, like 3 of those years is like sideways. It's down. And now we're entering this next year that many of us wait for. And this candle, this is how I'm seriously looking at this daily candle. This daily candle represents one of the most important daily candles of a 4-year cycle, in particular this 4-year cycle. That's one thing we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about the breakout that's happening right now. So please, everybody, if you're entering the chat, if you're out there watching, I appreciate you. Please smash the like button for me. Your support means a ton. It helps the channel a ton, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. So let's just jump into the analysis. If you're a replay viewer, after I upload, I will put some timestamps in the description. This daily candle, going to zoom in on it, obviously, throughout this video. Not going to start there, but we're going to get to it. But the reason why it's such a big daily candle, as you can see as I'm zooming out, this massive over 200 days of consolidation for Bitcoin, the breakout of that upper trend line being tested right now. And you can see the resistance. And we're going to talk about what resistance might look like. But I want to start. I want to zoom out a little bit. This is Crypto Rover. I wanted to bring this post. I just saw it before I was about to go live. And he just says, the Bitcoin bull market started. I told you so many times, this is it. I'm sharing this just because this is how I feel. And it's not like I told you so many times. Doing analysis on my YouTube channel, like I'm tracking this for myself. Like this is my crypto journey. I'm just putting the data out there, sharing it with you. We're on it together. But this is how I feel. I told myself so many times. The data has kind of presented this to us so many times. This is it. And massive, I want to underline that by saying it's not a guarantee. I know I say that often. Many of you are probably like sick of me saying that, but it's not a guarantee. But it seems like we're really on track. The consistency of all the technical analysis I've been doing over the years on the macro has been insane. Let's start talking about what's going on here. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, by the way. We're going to talk about some altcoins. I want to look at ADA. I want to look at DOG, maybe some others. So let's start here, though. Different this time. Bitcoin RSI says 233,000 BTC price possible in 2025. This will be a nice segue into the charts, but just an analyst applying standard deviation of monthly RSI. The monthly RSI, everybody, is it's one of the most simple indicators for anybody. You don't even need to understand technical analysis to look at, to get an illustrated look at cycles of crypto and how much more upside we might actually have in this cycle. And we're going to look at that. Bitcoin Data 21 suggests that the top of the current bull market may equate to about $250,000. This is possible by referencing historical highs in monthly RSI readings, which I'm about to show you, which correspond to blow-off tops on Bitcoin USD. He says the last cycle price went from 10,000. Keep this in mind, please. And I don't know if it's your first cycle. I don't know how long you've been around. But if we're going to enter this parabolic environment, I want you to keep in mind, not for Bitcoin, just for Bitcoin, but everything, anything you hold, things could progress very fast. And it's like, and especially when we've been sideways so long, you just think if it finally does go up, it's going to happen slowly. You know, like, okay, that was just so long of downtrend and sideways. Now it's just going to be like slowly up. Not typically the case. It's quickly. It's usually quickly. And that is something that I think is so important for all of us to be prepared for. It's easy to forget, especially when we become complacent watching nothing happen on the charts for like years. Last cycle price went from 10,000 to 60,000 in 7 months, largely driven by Grayscale buying 400,000 Bitcoin. Now we have trillions of trade $5 waiting to FOMO after price discovery and after they realize it's not a triple top. Bitcoin Data 21 added that there was more confluence with Bitcoin reaching the 250 zone that would be uploaded to X at a later date. So if we go real quick, I want to show kind of a picture of the chart. Let me go to this one. I'm going to change this to a monthly. That's the US dollar index, by the way. But let's change that to a monthly chart. And let's just look at Bitcoin. Let's just open up the RSI. And this is essentially what that article is about. This is essentially where we are, everybody. So if you want to get a sense, just such a simple picture of previous bull markets, look at the monthly RSI. This is what it looks like after these yellow lines, the Bitcoin halvings, and here's where we are right now. It's not started yet. So this is kind of what he's referencing in terms of the trend to overbought on the RSI and what that might mean for Bitcoin's all-time high. And then going further in, Monster Day, this was posted yesterday, but Monster Day for spot BTC ETFs, because as we're about to look at price, I really want to just set the tone of like what's happening right now. 550 million inflows, now approaching 20 billion inflows. Simply ridiculous and blows away every pre-launch demand estimate. This is not degen retail, in my opinion. And I was talking to a buddy about this yesterday. I think he sent me this post, and I was like, retail's not even here yet. Like, you can look at so many indicators, even I think social indicators. Retail, or as he says, degen retail, is not even here yet. It's advisors and institutional investors continuing to slowly adopt. And this is what makes this cycle really crazy. Because even if you look at the RSI, you can take an RSI, like the picture of it, and you can start just putting that. You don't have to even look at price charts. You can start putting all of these pieces of data on the RSI, and you can say, okay, all of this ETF inflows that we're getting right now at this moment, like this wasn't happening back here at that moment when crypto was about to explode. It wasn't happening back here at this moment when crypto was about to explode. So this is a little bit different in that regard. So thought that was a really good post, just going over the just insane inflows that's happening with the ETFs. And then this one, a reminder, there's a Bitcoin supply shock happening right now, everybody. Not only have institutions been buying through the last 200 days, BTC is leaving exchanges. And I wanted to set the tone with that. And then lastly, and we're going to pivot into the charts, Bitcoin will become as big as the U.S. housing market. You might have seen this yesterday, Larry Fink. That market is currently $50 trillion. Let's estimate $100 trillion by 2040. That's 76x Bitcoin. Bitcoin's $1.3 trillion market cap. In other words, Bitcoin is going to $5 million. The source, the most important person in finance on planet Earth. I mean, that could be debated. The most important person in finance on planet Earth. I know everybody is looking to Larry Fink like, he's the guy. But either way, he's a big guy in finance, that is for sure. And he's saying this. And the immediate thought I always have, and let me know if you agree with this, is like, do you really think that like the people like Larry Fink that are getting on board with this and getting into this, I don't know. I think it's some powerful people. And when you have some powerful people, I just think they have, I just don't think they're going to see this fail, see this fall. There's too much at stake for them. So those are just my thoughts. So we looked at the Bitcoin. We started talking about Bitcoin monthly. Obviously, there's the oscillator. I don't even need to mention it. I want to go over here to the Bitcoin weekly. I want to start here, and then we're going to start zooming in on Bitcoin price. This is a crazy breakout. Right now, even there's two reasons why I'm not even surprised that we're seeing immediate resistance. I saw this candle just cruising up. I was like, I'm going live. And two reasons why in my mind it's seeing resistance. Number one, I went live. Every time I go live, it's not even a question. Every time I go live, the resistance, it hits immediately. Right when I post, I'm going live, boom. So that's nothing new. We never really get to enjoy just watching a live pump together. It's a rarity. So that's number one. But really, the main technical reason is look at the resistance on that daily chart. But Bitcoin on the weekly, I want to just point out, do you see the MACD? Do you see this? MACD line getting ready to cross the red signal line. The histogram, and we're going to see how this weekly candle closes, right? It's Tuesday, but histogram about to turn green. Wanted to point out to you, last time we had this kind of move, well, there were two times. Last time was literally October 2023. I've been talking about that nonstop, the similarities of the technicals. But in terms of similarities of where we are this cycle, right? Just to give you a reference, here's last Bitcoin halving. Here's Bitcoin entering the last parabolic bull cycle. There's that last time. MACD crossing above the signal line. It's just such a nice move. And remember, I'd like to start the videos with some just such bullish narratives that are happening, because I like to just think of those things as we're going through these charts. So like, as I'm talking about these technicals, I'm very much thinking about what I just talked about. Bitcoin ETF flows, retail not even here yet, and everything in between. So this is what the move looked like back then. And here we are right now, just to give an update on this MACD. It's going to be headline news when this happens. Every YouTuber, every content creator is going to be talking about this move when it happens. So that's Bitcoin on the weekly chart. And I'm glancing over at the chart. Y'all doing good? Everybody hype? Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the likes, everybody. 165 likes, 2,200 people in here. Come on. Let's get that ratio up. Man, I need to move my standing desk to standing position. All right, let's zoom in on the charts. Let's zoom in on the daily. If my computer would not freeze. Retail never here. It's weird to think less than a year from now we can see altcoin all-time highs. All right. So I want to play a quick clip. This is from yesterday. A lot to track. Still 9 to 10 hours left of the daily candle. Will this be resistance? Will we just see a nice big wick on this green? Or can Bitcoin actually even keep going? To give you a sense of that upper trend line, it is not far for Bitcoin. We're looking at around 2 to 3% more for Bitcoin to actually break out or test this massive upper trend line. Remember, the target to the upside, 80 to 90,000. Yeah, so like I was talking about that, and I said to actually break out or test, because I was like, there's no guarantee we're getting the breakout, but the test is here. So I started this live stream by just basically being like, this is the most important daily candle of this 4-year cycle. And I really think that so far. Like, this really is. It's more important even than what was happening back here. And it's more important what was happening back here, because back here, it was less unrealistic that we were going to get the breakout to the upside. But now, as we're looking at the oscillators on the monthly, we look at what's going on the weekly that we just looked at. We look at the MACD. All the consolidation on the MACD, for instance, has kind of ended. And then we look at the RSI. Like, we're in a way different part of the cycle of this consolidation at the top of the screen, way different than all the way back here. So the candles back here are less important for the massive parabolic breakout that we're looking for than this one right here. So we go to the daily, and that's why this is so important to me. And in relation to why it's the most important in 4 years, it's just because, like, I mean, look at the chart on the daily. Do you see this? We have the inverse head and shoulders. There's the head. Here's the right shoulder setup. We're talking about this daily candle that's playing out right now could lead to the right shoulder breakout. So look at this. Look at this multi-year pattern, and we're at the end of it. And I don't know if it's going to happen. I can't sit here and say it's confirmed, it's definite, and you all know that. I say that all the time, and I have to repeat myself because I just know there's potentially new people popping on the stream, and I just want to make it clear, like, I'm not just some, pump, not just nonstop hyped YouTuber. Like, y'all know I'm extremely bullish. There's no secret about that. But you also know I'm very conservative and careful with my approach to these markets. And so I'm always looking for resistance. I'm always looking for throwbacks and dips that are not anticipated. And really, when we get environments when things do get too hypey, it's like it does get me a little nervous. So I'm bullish. This could be massive, but let's wait for confirmations. Let's track it. So I really enjoy the moves that's just like it happens without even warning, right? And so this move almost looked like it could potentially be that move. And there's still 9.5 hours left of the daily candle, but let's just look at this. Daily resistance right now happening at this upper trend line. So I had this symmetrical triangle that we've been kind of talking about within this, massive broadening falling wedge, because I just thought it also gave us a little bit of clarity in terms of the breakout in general, right? So we've broken that triangle trend line to the upside, and we have basically an $80,000 to $90,000 target for both patterns. Let's just call it that. And right now you can see Bitcoin is trading within this upper trend line of the triangle and the upper trend line of this over 200-day pattern that goes all the way back here to the all-time high in March. So Bitcoin's in a really weird area, and we're going to really see how strong of resistance that range is. And right now on the weekly, it looks sadly strong. The resistance looks sadly strong. Actually, somebody just said, and I'm glad they just commented this. Where'd it go? What do you think about the BTC dominance? Will it still hit 60%? I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a good reminder to actually talk about dominance. So this is the daily chart. Long story short, we're talking about the biggest resistance that we've come across for Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin actually makes the move out of this, I will say that is an incredibly bullish signal, bullish indicator on the macro, right? So it's a short-term zoomed in daily, but this is a macro move. So that's what I'll be watching for the next 9.5 hours. Can Bitcoin make it back to this trend line and above, or is this going to prove to be resistance? If it's resistance, and then I'm going to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and then we're going to look at some altcoins. But if it is resistance, it's very simple for me. It's all about the higher low story, right? Swing low to swing high, and then just can Bitcoin maintain higher lows, and specifically, can it maintain higher lows at the very least within the Fibonacci? So for me, a Fibonacci is this past swing low, which we just had the other day, to swing high. This is a short-term one too, probably better illustrated on like a 6-hour chart, but we can do it on the daily. And support for me would look like, if we're getting rejected here, 62,300 at the 618 to right around 60,700. Yeah, it's a big move. It's not fun. We want the breakout now, but that's where support would be for me on the short term, meaning we're getting it's not going to happen now. We're coming back down, testing that area, and then we give it another shot. That type of scenario. On the more zoomed out scenario, we have more of a midterm Fibonacci, which is literally the lower trend line swing low of this massive pattern to now we have it, the swing high resistance. It's the continued story, the frustrating story that we've all been in. That is swing low to swing high, rejected. Swing low to swing high, rejected. Swing low to swing high, rejected. So it's that continued story. So it's swing low now to swing high, rejected. The fail-safe support for Bitcoin for me is the 58,500 to right around just around 56,000. Sounds crazy, but welcome to crypto. It's in play, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, as Bitcoin's really with this daily candle as I'm doing this live stream. I told you I shouldn't have gone live. We'd be at like $68,000 right now if I didn't go live. Such an unfortunate thing. Such an unfortunate. All right, so somebody mentioned Bitcoin dominance, and I just want to take a glance at the chart on the weekly. So let's go find Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance making a little bit of a move to the upside. Let's see. Look at this. I wonder what this looked like just a little bit ago, but this is on the weekly chart. So the biggest thing that matters to me, there's a couple things. Number one, what is the lower high Fibonacci across these cycles? So last cycle, Bitcoin made a revisit to this lower high Fibonacci before falling right into altcoin season. And right now, it's just been a slow grind up. And you can see, even in terms of halvings, here's Bitcoin halving last cycle. Here it is this cycle. We're like approaching that very similar time frame, right? Slow grind up. Is it going to hit this Fibonacci on this area? And we're looking at, it's like right around 60% dominance to 65%. It's always been in play. So again, to kick off altcoin season, we're talking about Bitcoin dominance, but for me, it means everything to altcoins. When will this start falling? Will it get a little bit more of upside, another 1.5%, even more to this range, and finally start falling? Altcoin season, in my view, still just on track, in play. We're not late for altcoin season. I want to say that. I think a lot of people are like, why have we not, Why have we not broken out? We're not late. We are on track. So let's go over to, somebody just said everything's dumping. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Everybody. Look at that resistance though. This is going to be one of the most frustrating. I'm not counting this out yet, but this is going to be one of the most frustrating closes on a daily candle. Like, they don't mess around with this manipulation. And honestly, look at these swing highs at these trend lines. And we might be getting another one right now, but I'm not counting it out that it's over. Let's see how this day closes. Let's see how these support areas that I just discussed play out. Let's see how we do. We're, again, on the symmetrical triangle. I think it acts as a nice short-term area. We're at this kind of apex area, so testing in this region before breaking out, 100% in play. Not going to start talking about just a capitulation type of deal, because I don't think that's something that I feel like discussing right now. But let's go over here. I wanted to bring up ADA charts, some dog charts that we can look at. And I think it's actually even helpful to do it right now in an environment where we just were pumping and now it's just resistance. Because this really gives us a clear deal of like how strong I genuinely think manipulation is. It gives us a clear idea of how strong resistance in general is from a technical perspective. So if you're looking at ADA on the daily chart, and by the way, I don't know if you're a Cardano holder out there, but Cardano has a massive month right now happening. And I posted yesterday, I said Cardano IOG clearly studies cycles, though I don't mention often, it's obvious IOG plans based on cycle timing. And I just do. If you look back at their hard forks, if you look back at when they release things, if you look back at a bunch of different things and you zoom out on the cycles, you're kind of like, I don't think it's a coincidence. As we head into crypto's bull phase, historically, it's no accident Binance is sponsoring the Cardano Summit this month, and Charles is meeting with Argentina's president. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out for ADA charts for the rest of October, especially if crypto ends up being green, Bitcoin ends up being green. But check out the resistance right now. ADA was just literally, as I started the live stream, trying to get a breakout. Moving averages, 20-day moving average, currently below, 50-day moving average, just above. So a crazy short-term area for ADA that I would say is pretty important to see support, especially even just below that is this lower trend line from this swing low back in beginning of August. ADA is still just hanging out at the lower end. There's been no breakout. What I'm really looking for is just an escape of these moving averages. I thought for like 10 seconds as I was doing the video and starting the live stream, I thought that we could potentially be getting that breakout. Let's see how the day ends. Still 9 hours left. But that's ADA right now on the daily charts. And if you just look at the weekly, I want to show you. You look at the weekly, it's just ready. It's absolutely ready. And it will be very interesting to see, again, with this RSI higher high, higher low, what happens in October with I would say some bullish narratives happening. Cardano native tokens, which I'm way underexposed on right now. Lot of rumors about getting listed. So we're looking at an ADA chart, but the bigger play when it comes to Cardano might be the Cardano ecosystem. Not might, probably is Cardano native tokens if we're about to enter a bull cycle. Cardano is going to do well. We track it all the time. Cardano native tokens going to do work. Let's go over to Dog. I posted this yesterday. I'll put a link in the description, but here's exactly how Dog can flip Doge. It's a big play of mine this cycle. So I'm sorry if you don't like it. You can stop watching the video, but it's going to be part of my content. Not crazy amount, but a part of my content moving forward. Been talking about it for a while. The community is insane, distributed, but I just want to really talk about even the technical analysis of this move that's happening right now, because we see an inverse head and shoulders on Dog, and we got this breakout out of the head or out of the neckline, and right now we're getting a revisit to the neckline. This is like a perfect technical analysis move. I don't care what chart it is. When this is happening, I'm just like, I like watching that. It could be like SUI. It could be, I don't care, XRP. I like these throwbacks to key areas. This is a daily chart. So the $1 billion area for Dog is the breakout area for Dog. that is out of the inverse head and shoulders. I want to keep in mind, I posted this yesterday on X. Once we get overextended from daily moving averages, in this case, the 20, the 50, these throwbacks happen so often. So I wouldn't be immediately discouraged if we don't get support at the neckline, although it would be amazing and we continue higher to $1 billion market cap target. But I'm absolutely allowing room to the 20, the 50. It just is what it is, especially for meme coins. It's incredibly volatile. So these are my thoughts. How's everybody doing? I'm sorry. We started the live stream all hype and just, it was looking really nice. And now it's just, yeah. Everything was green 15 minutes ago. Now it's red. Welcome to crypto. Welcome to a Dan Gambardello Crypto Capital Venture live stream. Everybody, welcome. If you're not a subscriber and you would like to enjoy more of this chart, subscribe and turn the notifications on. 3,200 people in here. Smash the like button. Everything was green. I just opened up a 15-minute chart because it's just like, I wanted to just get a sense of it. Can we get some like hopium going? And can this turn into a beautiful 15-minute candle? I never zoom in on the charts, but Jose, you know what's up. 15-minute candle. Can we get some hopium? Can we get a nice bounce once I end the live stream? And can we please continue what is the most, it still is the most, so far the most important daily candle. This is what it looks like. And man, there's going to be people that look back on this upper trend line and they're like, look what is playing out right now. It's happening again, and even more resistance. So there's going to be people that are just going to get shaken out of this move, and we're going to see. We are absolutely going to see how this plays out. Want to throw this reminder out there while the move happens. Check this out. Just to give you an idea, I just saw this, but last upper trend line touch, and then this upper trend line touch. I'll tell you one thing that is different. Let me close this. Do you see the MACD? The bottom of the screen? I'm trying to just give you all at least some hopium. The MACD just getting started. We just got this daily MACD cross above the signal line. This is a bullish indicator. No, I'm really not trying to throw hopium out there, but we're above the histogram. We're above zero, and we're getting the MACD crossing the signal line. And that's the type of move. Again, just not to just like keep bringing it up, but if I zoom out on a daily chart, that's the type of move. If I can get there, we get right here a MACD crossing above the signal line, above zero on histogram. That's the type of move we get back there last October. So if we look at these upper trend line touches, these two rejections back here, yeah, they look very similar on price chart. But one good thing, and it's not a guarantee, but one good thing is at the very least, the MACD showing a little bit of a different momentum, right? At this moment of resistance, all of this move on the MACD had happened and momentum was just cruising down. Same thing here. All of that move had happened and the MACD was trending down. So we still very much have play and room for a breakout to happen here. So you zoom out on the chart, the momentum oscillator has a ton of room, and maybe it's not today, right? Maybe we do go sideways. Maybe we consolidate to the 200. Remember, all these moving averages now are below Bitcoin. Maybe it consolidates to 63. We hit the resistance, we're sideways, choppy, and then the breakout. The room is there on the daily chart. So want to mention that. And I think that's a good way to end the video because, you know, it's not how I would have liked the live stream to go, but it's how I would have imagined it to go because it always happens. Oh man. So anyway, those are my thoughts, everybody. Incredibly bullish. Zoom out on the charts, zoom out on cycles. Really study the cycles if you haven't. Understand the cycles. Zooming out is the most powerful thing I think you can do. And I'm just saying that from experience. And that's all this is. It's just me just kind of tracking my journey, but zoom out on what's happening here from a momentum perspective. on Bitcoin and crypto. So these are my thoughts today. Let me know your thoughts. Now that I will end the live stream, we can continue the pump. Hit the subscribe, turn notifications on. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.